Hi, this is the second video in this series. In the last one, I spoke a little about the creator's story, or rather my own perspective. Today, as promised, I want to share a bit more about the world itself. There's a lot more where this is coming from, and I hope you are here to enjoy it. Among the many peoples of changes, the Akau have flown over the skies of the world for centuries, millennia even. Once believed to have held immense influence, they now live at the quiet fringes of civilization. But according to the oldest inscriptions and legends carved in stone, an ancient Akau civilization once told of the world's creation. It is said that they believed the world was shaped by 4 children of an unseen being called Avos, a power that both existed and did not, whose essence was symbolized by the egg or the world itself. Those children represented the embodiments of time, space, body, and spirit. Together, they shaped the world as it is today, creating the mountains, the sea, the sky, and the lands, and everything that lived there. Only time, however, was not as heavily involved as everyone else and became jealous of its siblings. So it gave each of its siblings' works a fragment of itself in disguise. Time created a beginning and an end, birth and decay, so that all things would one day fade. When the 3 others discovered this, they did not rage. Instead, they welcomed it, for now all the works were truly alive. It is said that their essence still lingers, shaping the world through their breath, spirits, reflections of the 4 that live on eternally, that life and magic flow through everything that was once created by them. But as in all myths, its truth may lie less in the telling and rather in what it seeks to explain. While some scholars believe in a greater spirit of creation, others argue that a cosmic event ignited the universe, a burst of light and fire so vast it set time and space themselves into motion. And though their words differ, they both describe a world born from a spark, and then something that isn't short of a miracle. Over millions and millions of years, the world that once was symbolized as the egg cooled and took form to become what we know, the molten seas hardening into continents and mountains, becoming the cradle of early forms of life, and yet more to come. In the last centuries, science seeks to explain of these early days, often focusing on the evidence and the true origin of life. Discoveries in geology, fossils, and the natural sciences have allowed to reimagine creation, moving further away from myths and seeking to answer the questions by mere observation. Much of its science relies on the study of the earliest history and how the first civilizations formed in symbiotic harmony of today. Archaeology revealed how the first civilizations simultaneously lived and struggled together for survival. And though conflict between each other marked much of the ancient world, there is growing understanding of how the races learned to coexist in an abstract form of harmony early on. The field of symbiography seeks to explain this, studying how humans Deinken, Jigun, Lars, Grazers, Tali and others achieved this long before written records even existed. And they agree in unison, all of it tracks back into the ancient times of the Wild Ages. As early history states, small groups of humanoids spread across the continents some 8 to 12,000 years ago. Competing with nature, monsters and primal entities such as elementals and spirits, they found themselves in a constant battle for survival. Among them, a few arose, becoming the earliest practitioners of magic, who sought to commune with the unnatural and divine, stepping into the raw energy that engulfed everything around them. They learned that among their environment, there were many sentient beings that could aid them in their strive. While some of these beings only required small offerings in exchange for their gifts, others were more demanding. And over generations, larger communities formed, transitioning slowly from hunter and gatherers to builders and thinkers who would set the foundation to form more sophisticated cultures as time proceeded. Many believe it was during this age that the Akau founded the earliest true civilization along their migratory routes that stretched over vast regions of the world. They built sacred sites and shrines, forming bonds with other races who learn to work together and unite themselves for a more common purpose. Among the ruins, evidence of shared burial sites of many races have been found, with proof of early cultural exchanges between them. Some say that these sites were often not even constructed by the Akau themselves, but rather by the hands of others, who would have perhaps built them in reverence, seeing the Akau as divine messengers and sages. The Akau's influence endures to this day, as seen on royal crests and banners that still bear avian symbols of power and grace that honor them. What happened afterwards still remains, however, unknown. What became of the Akau's empire, whether it declined, transformed, or simply vanished, is still debated. Yet even today, Akau pilgrims visit those ancient ruins, honoring the echoes of their past, even seeking to live up to the old ways their distant ancestors laid out for them. That is not to say that this mysterious civilization was the only one that rose during these ancient times. The high civilization of the Jigen would in fact arise and bring an end to the Wildages in a spectacular form, leaving a far more distinct mark on vast regions of the world. But this is a story for another day. For today, we've just brushed across an enormous span of time. Who knows when we might return to the Wildages and explore this period in the future. But for now, I am looking to expand the story into more pressing matters. As I mentioned before, the world of changes strives to awaken the same sense of awe we feel when looking at our own past. Like true historical record, it should give you inspiration to create your own stories, adapt your own influences, once you will be further introduced into the world of changes. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world's beginnings, leave a comment, share your thoughts, or subscribe to follow this journey as we move on. And again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you around.